The doctor introduced, our topic today is unraveling AI. We know AI is everywhere, everybody speaks about it. But my goal today in today's talk is to give you guys a high level primer so you can understand what's AI and what's not AI. And I understand you guys are coming from different backgrounds. So I'm not going to go too technical on you guys. It's only high level. I think this is moving with the timer. So here's the agenda about today. Like I said, I had a slide about myself, and I'll quickly go through that. We'll talk about why AI is relevant, and specifically why is AI relevant to you guys, right? And then what is AI, and of course, conversely, what's not AI. We'll talk about some AI use cases, and I've tailored them for Ajman University so you guys can relate to them. We have a short summary about what we have spoken about, and then I'll open the floor for question and answers because I think that's where the learning happens. You can ask questions about AI and how it is changing the world and how I'm using AI for it. So before we begin, I have a short quiz, and don't worry, it's not graded. It's just to involve you guys. And I'm going to show you two pictures. And I want you to keep a mental note whether this is AI, whether it's using AI or not. So the first picture is voice assistant. We see it everywhere. Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant. These are all voice assistants, right? We ask a question, it gives an answer. So my question to you guys, is this AI? And the other picture is of a simple rice cooker. It's just a machine you can cook rice in. And again, is it using AI or not? So here's about myself. I'm an AI consultant. I graduated from American University of Sharjah. I did master's in mechatronics. And then I moved to Canada where I switched careers into AI. I was always into coding and I loved the concepts of AI. And I have a company where I do consulting for AI. So basically, I help large corporations set up AI teams, make use cases, and supercharge their businesses using AI. But like the doctor said, I also teach during the weekends. And my courses are not regular student courses. They are courses developed for for industry professionals who want to learn about AI, transition into AI, right? So the way I do it, I teach them technical stuff, and I also teach them hands-on. How is this technology now being implemented in the industry? And that's where all they fill the gaps. So why is AI relevant? And honestly speaking, I can pick up a lot of stats and figures to show you how AI has just, exponentially grown over the past few years, how ChatGPT has reached millions of users within days. But I want to bring up something that's very recent and very close to us. Just a few weeks ago, there was this World Government Summit. And if you Google World Government Summit, the majority topics you will find is AI. All the major country leaders are talking about AI. And here, there's a video. I'm not going to play it in the interest of time, but I really recommend you guys to look it up. It's by Mr. Omar Sultan Al Olama, who is the Minister of State of AI of UAE. And he said something very, very amazing. He said, in the English dictionary, you will not find the difference between complete and finished, but I'll give you an explanation. That's what he said. If you use AI, you're complete, and if you don't use it, you're finished. And if you reject it, you're completely finished. Watch the video, it's amazing. And I also want to give you a personal story. 2 weeks ago, I landed in Dubai. I met a friend, and he said, Adnan, I want to introduce you to an ambassador of a country. And I want you, I want you to tell him how is AI going to help his country. Now, this was an ambassador. I didn't even know about that country before. I had only 1 hour to prep. I went home, I opened ChatGPT, I searched it, what are the top 3 industries in this country? Tell me more about the ambassador and give me use cases how AI can help them. And I took this information, I combined it with my own information, own skill set. I met the ambassador, I gave him an AI use case, and he was blown away. So this is the power of AI. Like they say, work smart, not hard. So I think we all agree that AI is relevant. Everybody needs to know about it. I'm not saying go and learn coding, but at least know what's AI in your field. But now let's try and understand what is AI. And honestly speaking, AI is a umbrella term used for any machine, any software, any technology that shows some kind of intelligence. Now let me give you a very simple use case. These lights, for example, you switch on the light, it turns on, you switch it off, it turns off. There's no intelligence. But what if these lights, based on the audience, based on the ambient lighting, change their intensity, change their beams? Now it's showing some kind of intelligence. We can term that as AI. It's showing some kind of intelligence. And I want to give you guys another example. So in the early days, at the advent of electronic mail, email, they started this malicious campaign of sending spam emails. These spammers, they would send you emails about lotteries and stuff like that. They want you to click some URL. They either, put some virus in your computer or take some money. Whatever they do, the intent is bad, and these emails are useless, right? So how do we get rid of spam emails? So early on, coders, they started identifying some trends. They said, okay, you know what? Spam emails have these terms, lottery, click here, urgent, stuff like that. So why don't we make rules, like if else statements? So why don't we make rules that if this word is in the email, it's a spam email. If it's not there, it's not spam. Now spammers, they became intelligent. They found out that these words were being flagged as spam emails. They started making the spam emails more personalized. They would put your name in it, put some information they found out. And those emails are really hard to now tag as spam emails. And you can understand the rules, this is called rule-based programming. You create rules upon rules upon rules. It's becoming hard to find what spam emails look like. So then there was a subset of AI that was invented called machine learning. Now it's going to sound funny, but machine learning is basically a model that learns from past data and makes predictions. And the reason I'm saying it's funny because it always reminds me of my wife. She's learned from all my past data, she's learned my trends, and she can also make predictions. Honestly, like she would come to me and say, Adnan, I'm going to say something, and I know what you're going to respond. This is AI machine learning. But you know what? After careful thinking, I found one difference. Alhamdulillah, AI can be retrained. So this is machine learning, a model that learns from past data and makes predictions. So this model was now trained on all spam emails. It learned what spam emails look like. And then it makes predictions that this is spam and this is regular email. Now, these models started off as very simple models. And I can give you an example of, in Excel, we use a line of best fit. That's a machine learning model as well. A very simple one, but it's a machine learning model. Now the applications for AI became more and more complex. For example, identifying a cat from a dog, it's not that easy. Some cats and dogs look quite similar. So then another subset of AI came, and it's called deep learning. Now it goes by various names, and it's all the same thing. Deep learning, deep neural networks, artificial neural networks, they're all the same thing. They're all modeled after our human brain, where we have a neuron, it gets sensors and gives an output. Deep learning is pretty much similar like that. It's a very complex machine learning model that gets inputs, does some transformations, and gives a prediction. And I won't go too deep in that, but now we're living in an era called generative AI. And generative AI is a subset of deep learning. It uses complex deep learning models, but this time it does not just generate one prediction, it generates a series of outputs, right? And the best example is ChatGPT. It gives you a series of outputs like a whole paragraph of text. So these models are able to generate new information. And you will see some images in my slides. They were generated from AI. I just gave a prompt and it generates an image. And of course, it only can generate stuff that it's trained upon. So always keep this basic principle in mind. Learn from past data and predict or generate. So this is basically the AI story so far. And honestly speaking, in the future, we can expect further subsets. Now, there are some caveats when we're using AI models. Not everything is perfect with AI models, right? So the first issue is that they are highly dependent on data. And that's because they use the past data to train on, right? Now imagine a model that was trained pre-COVID and now COVID hits, right? The model has never seen the trends of COVID. Those predictions are now way off. So what's the solution? We will see in a few seconds. There's another issue with AI, and that is basically the second difference between AI and my wife is that AI can make mistakes, right? So AI can make mistakes, and it could be based on various reasons. It could be because of bad data, bad programming, bad model selection, and sometimes even due to some malicious intent. Now, I could go into ChatGPT right now and start feeding it wrong information. It's going to use this to retrain, and the future outputs will be affected by it. This is called model poisoning. And the third issue with AI, and this is specific to deep learning because I told you it's a very complex model. Sometimes people also call it a black box because we don't know exactly what it goes inside. So another problem with AI is that sometimes it's hard to explain. And what I mean by explainability is, let's say you give me a set of data that from in the morning till now, this is what I've done, this is what I've eaten, this is where I've gone. And I make a prediction that, okay, right now your emotion is sad. And then you say, Adnan, how did you reach that? How did you reach that outcome? Explain it to me. And using traditional ML, I can explain that. I can say, you know what, your mood is very, very dependent on the appetite that you eat, the places that you go. This is your contribution to all of this, and this is your final output. When it comes to deep learning, that transformations, you lose that explainability. So this is one of the problems that people, often complain about because, especially in Canada, they just don't want predictions. They want an explainable prediction. For example, a customer comes in, applies for a loan, AI model says you're rejected. He needs an explanation. Why am I rejected? So you'll have to go back to the inputs and say, because your credit score was bad, because you have a history of bad loans, this is the reason you got rejected. So the solution to some of these problems are, of course, improve your data. There are a lot of customers out there with horrible data, and they think that I'll bring an AI model and it's going to solve their life. It's not going to happen. They'll need to first fix their data. There is a common saying in the data world that garbage in, garbage out. No matter what model you have, if your data is not good, we won't be able to give you good predictions. The second solution is human in the loop. So for that problem of AI making mistakes, imagine you are in a healthcare setting and the AI predicts that someone has cancer, and you just cannot take the prediction and start running tests on them or giving them medication. You always need a human in the loop, and especially for very sensitive topics. So a human in the loop, basically, before the prediction goes out to someone for taking action, the human vets it, he looks at the data, he looks at the prediction, and makes a judgment call. And finally, and I think UAE is doing great at this, they are working on an AI governance. So, we said that AI is hard to explain. Imagine, a model that's favoring male gender over female gender, or making some other unethical predictions or classifications. And AI governance would make sure that this kind of model does not go and affect the public. So this is a very important aspect as well. So now that we know what AI is, what issues it has, how we can solve them, there are not issues that cannot be solved. But just let's look at some use cases. And I've selected certain domains from Ajman University to help you guys relate how AI can affect all of these domains. So in the field of medicine, now imagine this radiologist, she's looking at these scans. Now there are expert radiologists, they can see scans and they can see minor things and point out issues. But what if she's just joined? She doesn't have the experience. What AI can do is it can train on all the past scans, find all the issues in the scans, and give her a highlighted view of the scan, and that is going to help her. In a study done recently, they found that with AI augmented scans, the radiologists were, diagnosing 26% faster, and they were also able to find 29% of issues that were not being able to found by regular radiologists. So that's the first issue I'm talking about, that AI can augment the expertise of healthcare. They can assist the experts. I'm not saying replace the experts, but assist them. The second issue is improving operational efficiency. Not too much here, but in Canada, the hospitals are always working at full capacity. They have beds in the corridors. They are so bad. And the regular wait time in emergency is like 4 to 6 hours. I know friends who went with a broken arm and they waited 4 hours. So this operational efficiency can be improved much more with AI. And finally, empowering people. We have apps that show us our medical records, but honestly, when I look at them, I get a headache of my own. I don't know what to see and what to read. AI can summarize that. AI can tell you, okay, these are your relevant issues. Work on this. This can be fixed with this. So these are some use cases how AI can help in healthcare. In the field of mass communication. So this is what I was talking about, generative AI. I just gave a prompt and it made an image of a bottle in a beach background. What we can do with AI is personalized advertising. And this is what Amazon, Facebook, all of these guys are doing. They have a profile of you. They know that Adnan likes sports, he likes to go out, he likes to watch movies. They're going to give personalized advertising for me. Content creation and curation. Again, we should think of it as an assist, as a starting point. Imagine you want to make a social post, you don't know what to write, you can use it as a starting point. But then, of course, that human in the loop should always be there. You can use it for data analytics, market insights. Why is the sales going down? If you want to find that. Predictive marketing. Imagine you have a new campaign. You're not sure if this campaign is going to work or not. We can use AI for that. And also like social media management, like I said, posting new stuff. In the field of business administration. So we see it all around. Chatbots. This is the first example here, customer service automation. We can use AI for chatbots. These chatbots, if they're intelligent, they can learn from your responses, right? They can cater to you specifically. If you're always calling about internet issues, it's not going to ask you 10 questions. Is it for phone or internet or this or that? It knows. Sales and marketing personalization, like I said, based on your profile, only give you ads and marketing campaigns that are relevant. Supply chain optimization, one of the biggest issues in COVID, the microchips and stuff were not being delivered, cars were not being manufactured. AI can help you predict what's going to be the shortage, what's going to be the demand, and make you ready before time. Financial analysis and fraud detection. Like I said, if somebody applies for a loan, based on their profiles, AI can predict whether this person will be a defaulter or not. And also human resources. Not too much in Canada, but here, one opening comes, thousands of applicants. AI can help you filter those applicants, find the right choice. In the field of architecture, art, and design, just a few weeks ago, there was this conference called, this exhibition called STEP 2024. All the new startups were there. I met one startup there, and what they had done was very intelligent design. They had taken all the past civil designs of sewerage, trained a model, and based on your requirements, it's going to make an AutoCAD design of a sewerage design. And of course, you can now tweak it, but it gives you a great starting point. I know people are spending weeks on this, but with this approach, you can spend it, finish a design in days maybe. And that's the first one I'm talking about, automated design assistance. AI can help you design or at least give you a starting point of what your design looks like. I used to work in a telecom company for 10 years. And honestly speaking, day in, day out, I was making the same design. Obviously, being a coder and automator, I had found some shortcuts. But now AI, you train a model that learns your past designs and give you a predicted design. You can also do structural analysis optimization. Instead of experimenting with structures and destructive testing and stuff like that, you can use AI to optimize, what your structural strength might be. AI is also being used a lot in historical architecture preservation. Recently, there was a competition, and there was this Egyptian scroll that nobody had deciphered, and they used AI, and they were able to decipher what the message was. So amazing, amazing applications. You can also use AI for enhanced urban planning, maybe a city of the future like this. So to summarize, it's evident AI is taking the world over by storm. Some people are calling it the next internet, the next motor car, the next fire. So it's basically everywhere. The other thing is it's cross industries and it's going to overlap every domain. Like I just give you 4 examples, but I can give you examples for all of these colleges, all of these domains. You will find some application or the other in all of these domains. Like we said, AI is an umbrella term. It basically means any machine software showing intelligence. There is a rule-based AI that was used a long time ago. Then we have machine learning, we have deep learning, and now we are in the age of generative AI. Like we said, AI can make mistakes. So to counter that, we need to retrain those models, and we need to pay careful attention. Are these models ethically and socially acceptable or not? Those predictions. And my final advice to all of you, since you are here at the career fair, and all the best with your careers. I see future leaders and future great workforce here. So my advice to all of you is, supplement your knowledge with AI. So be an expert in your industry, but also keep a lookout of how AI is affecting your industry. So that will give you an edge. And that concludes my slides. So I think you guys have a good idea about what AI is. So let's reveal the answers to the quiz. So as you guys might have guessed, voice assistants use AI. They listen to your instructions. For instance, if I look at if I call Siri and I say, Siri, tell me a great sushi place, it's not going to tell me a sushi place in Japan. It's going to be localized, based on my location. So it's going to show some intelligence. Give me the sushi place next to me with high rating and stuff. So it's learning from the prompts. And as you might have guessed, this rice cooker that has no intelligence, it just basically boils rice. So thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Khaled. Thank you, Ajman University, for this opportunity. I hope you guys had a good time understanding what AI is.